What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing my first battles of the new Might and Mastery GBL season, running a triple shiny shadow theme team, with all three of these Pokemon receiving at least one buff, with Venomoth gaining access to Psywave, Alola Marowak getting a Hex buff, and Sableye having a Foul Play rework, as well as gaining access to a reworked Dazzling Gleam. Now unfortunately this team is quite weak to Mandibuzz, the new top ranked Pokemon on PvPoke, but my other options to completely buffed shiny shadow team were Metang, Nuzleaf, Shiftry, Hypno, and I guess my champ with Dynamic Punch, which unfortunately are all also incredibly weak to Mandibuzz. So either way, Mandibuzz was always going to be problematic, but I was still able to beat several Mandibuzz in these battles. Now before we get into the battles, I want to announce a new weekly subscriber challenge that I'll be trialing in the first few weeks of the season, where each challenge has its own unique point system. Now let me be very clear, because even though I stated this in a community post yesterday, it still seems like a lot of people didn't really understand this, but these challenges have nothing to do with Spice. You are free to use whatever Pokemon you think will be most optimal for the specific challenge each week, and if that means running the top 3 ranked Pokemon on PvPoke, that's absolutely fine. Now there will be certain weeks where, due to the rules of the challenge, you will be a lot more restricted with what you can use, but hopefully this should allow absolutely anyone to participate. Now for the first week of the season, we've got the Gotta Catch 'Em All challenge, and the aim of this challenge is to catch as many charge attacks in a single game, but the amount of points you'll get per catch is related to the type effectiveness of the charge attack that you're able to catch. So for example, catching a neutral move will give you a single point, for catching a resisted move you'll get 2 points, a double resisted move will get you 3 points, and a triple resisted move will get you a maximum 4 points for that catch. There will also be 2 bonus points if you're able to win the battle, 1 bonus point for a tie, and no bonus points if you do in fact lose. There will be a link in the description of every video I upload this week taking you to the submission form for this challenge, and you'll have up until Sunday evening to submit your entry. Now the aim is to upload the 10 highest scoring battles for each challenge in a video every Tuesday, and I'll announce the new challenge for the upcoming week in that same Tuesday video. Please let me know what you think about this new weekly subscriber challenges in the comment section down below, and also let me know if you have any ideas for future challenges that I can set. But with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What is your favorite move update for this season? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so go into the first battle, leading shiny Shadow Venomoth into a Shadow Blastoise. Now unfortunately Blastoise, a little bit of a core breaker to the team, having access to Rollout now, which is going to hit for super effective damage up against the Venomoth, and obviously doing very well into my Alola Marowak. However, the opponent overfarms massively, allowing me to reach a second Poison Fang, grabbing both shields from the Shadow Blastoise. At this point, I'm happy to let the Venomoth go down. Hydro Cannon gets the KO there. We can come in with the shiny Shadow Sableye, and I'm hoping to go for a full Shadow Claw farm down before they do reach another Hydro Cannon, but unfortunately they live with 1 HP and a Dream, and at this point I'm thinking, you know what, might as well just double shield the Sableye. They're going to come in with a Dusclops, which of course got buffed this season, with Hex now dealing more damage and generating more energy. However, this is still a very good matchup for the Sableye. The opponent fires off the Shadow Punch there. We're able to tank that, go for a full Shadow Claw farm down. They come back in with the Blastoise just to be farmed down, and now we've got back-to-back foul plays as the opponent comes in with a Shadow Dusknoir. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to reveal my final Pokemon, my shiny Shadow Alola Marowak, and I'm able to take that game. So GG to opponent there. Into the next battle, see a Shadow Dusknoir in the lead this time around, so not really ideal for me. I'm going to say swap into my Shadow Marowak, and we do actually stay in with the Venomoth initially. That way we end up swapping out on alignment there, so the opponent forced to throw on alignment, but unfortunately we are hard punished with our Shadow Marowak save swap as we're met with a Mandibuzz. Now Mandibuzz, of course, if they go for foul play here, it probably will get the KO. However, it's just an Aerial Ace. Now on PvPoke, the recommended moveset is still Aerial Ace and Dark Pulse, so not every Mandibuzz is going to be on foul play, but foul play of course is cheaper, so you do have to watch out for that. But either way, we're going to go for the Poison Fang. We are able to get there in time. At this point, we've grabbed a shield from the Mandibuzz. They have overfarmed considerably, and they will be able to outpace me to the next charge move. However, that's okay. I did grab a shield there. I know Mandibuzz is going to be very tricky for this team to deal with, so at this point we are going to wait out the switch clock, come in with the Shadow Sableye. The opponent comes back in with the Dusknoir, and I'm able to catch the Shadow Punch onto my Shadow Marowak. That goes down. We're going to come back in with the Sableye, get the Shadow Claw farm down, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent's going to come back in with the Mandibuzz, so I'm going to overfarm here as much as possible, go for 4 Shadow Claws, fire off the Dazzling Gleam, get the KO there, and then come in with a Credilli in the back. Now, if they are on Rock Tomb, which did of course get buffed this season, ideally, they should be shielding the first charge move there because now they can debuff me, but they let that one go through, and that is going to be huge for me because Rock Tomb is going to debuff my attack here, and honestly, I'm not certain if 2 debuff foul plays would get the KO, but because they didn't shield that first charge move, this foul play, it is debuffed, but it will be enough damage to take out Credilli from that range, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top opponent into the next battle, we see a Wigglytuff in the lead, so a great lead matchup for me. The opponent is going to stay in with the Wigglytuff initially, they then swap into Shadow Drifloon. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit slow to swap out there, so I wasn't going to risk trying to throw on CMP there, just because I actually don't know who wins CMP in this matchup. This is also a brand new Shadow Sableye that I've powered up specifically for this video. It was very expensive considering I've actually already built a level 50 Shadow Sableye, so yeah, we spent a lot of Stardust here, but the shiny Shadow is just so beautiful. They're going to come back in with the Wigglytuff. We go for the Dazzling Gleam. We were debuffed, so it doesn't do quite as much damage as I was hoping for. But either way, we can come in with the Venomoth, and the opponent comes in with a Gastrodon. Now, unfortunately, Gastrodon is going to be very problematic for our Alolan Marowak. However, if we're able to swap out and catch a Body Slam, that's going to be absolutely huge. That is, of course, double resisted. It's non-stab. It doesn't do much damage. And now we're going straight for Shadow Bone here. Shadow Bone is going to do big damage, and we're also able to drop that defense. And because Hex generates energy faster, I'm able to reach another Shadow Bone, get the KO there, and we've already got the Poison Fang loaded. We can come back in with the Venomoth, throw it straight away into the Wigglytuff, and of course, getting the KO there, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top opponent into next battle, we see a Talonflame in the lead, so definitely not ideal for me. I'm going to stay in initially again, then swapping out into my Shadow, Alolan Marowak, and I make a huge mistake there. I just assumed that they were going to throw it immediately, and because I stayed in with the Venomoth this time, it cost me big time because, once again, we end up throwing on alignment, but this time the opponent overfarms. But luckily for me, I'm able to just barely hang on, and I will admit this is one of my first battles, so honestly, I just didn't realize I was going to reach a Shadow Bone there. Definitely should have just committed to a second Shadow Bone. However, it doesn't matter too much as the opponent does end up shielding anyways. We're going to come in with the Sableye. Unfortunately, they will be at back-to-back charge moves already, so I'm going to double shield here. I know it will just be another Fly, but honestly, Fly would do big damage. But speaking of big damage, the opponent comes in with more Peko. Dazzling Gleam gets the one-shot there. They come in with Serperior, and honestly, I could have probably stayed in with my Sableye for a bit longer there. We're going to swap into Venomoth. Of course, Aerial Ace is going to hit for super effective damage, meaning a second Aerial Ace will get the KO. Could have possibly gone for Poison Fang here. I tried to undercharge this, but unfortunately, it's not enough. They can come in, get the farm down there, because I didn't bank any energy. When I swapped out there, the opponent outpaces me to the Fly. Fly gets the KO there, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's to opponent there into the next battle. We see a Corviknight in the lead, so definitely not ideal for me. We're going to say swap into our Shadow Alolan Marowak. Honestly, because we're not on Fire Spin, this really isn't that great of a matchup. The opponent is dealing super effective damage with the Sand Attack. Sky Attack does some decent damage there, but we're going to go for back-to-back Shadow Bones. First Shadow Bone is going to be no shielded. I probably could have baited with a Bone Club and possibly made it to another Bone Club. However, I just want the guaranteed damage or the shield there. We drop the defense as well, so actually, that's not too bad because we can come in with the Sableye. They will, of course, have one charge move, but I should be able to Shadow Claw, farm them down before they reach back-to-back. So I'm going to shield the Sky Attack here, and we are able to get that farm down. The opponent comes in with a Zoom Reel, so not too bad for me, and this is where actually having a more attack-weighted Shadow Sableye is quite nice because the Shadow Claws do more damage. Dazzling Gleam does big damage. We're able to swap, catch a charge move onto my Venomoth. The opponent actually goes for an Ice Beam there, which is a little bit unfortunate, but actually you can see that is definitely an under-leveled Azumarill. They're only at just barely over 1400 CP, but either way, Poison Fang gets the KO there. They come in with a Clodsire, and all of my moves are resisted. What I intentionally do here is not bother throwing a charge move, instead forcing the opponent to throw their energy as soon as they can, and hopefully this should allow me to outpace them to 3 charge moves on my Shadow Sableye. Of course, the opponent lets the first one go through there. Because Foul Play does do less damage now, I will need one more charge move to connect to get the KO there, and they do bait me, but it doesn't matter. I'm still able to outpace them. Foul Play number 2 grabs the final shield, and you can see it's actually a CMP tie there, but it doesn't matter. We easily win CMP, and of course, when it connects, Foul Play will be enough damage to take out the Clodsire, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's up in there into next battle. See a Grumpig in the lead, so not really ideal for me. Get a safe swap into my Shadow Marowak, and unfortunately met with an Umbreon. So I'll be honest, Sableye, you guys already know, is a really good safe swap Pokemon. That's kind of what it's known for. I don't really know why I used the Alolan Marowak as a safe swap. I guess I wanted Sableye as the closer, but unfortunately, Alolan Marowak just really gets shut down quite easily by this Umbreon here, and especially up against Mandibuzz, which you will see in future battles. But either way, we've got them near enough into the yellow health range there. With a few more side waves, you can see, yeah, we get them into the yellow health range. Gonna come in with the Venomoth, and I'm just gonna no shield here as the opponent goes for the foul play, and I'm just barely able to reach a Bug Buzz. Now, Bug Buzz, of course, super effective damage. It gets the KO there. We swap into Sableye, and they've got a second side wave user in the form of Lapras, and that's actually great for me. Sableye, of course, double resisting the fast move damage. Foul play, grabs the shield from the opponent. Of course, we could still be running Power Gem, and actually, I think Power Gem does still have some play as it is cheaper than Dazzling Gleam, but we are going to shield here. The opponent goes to Sparkling Aria here, and I realize I can probably live one of these fairly comfortably. They're not going to be able to farm me down, so we let the next one go through. We do live that. We can get the Shadow Claw farm down, and we will reach back-to-back foul plays here. So throwing the first one just before we get to back-to-back, the opponent no shields. They recognize their fate is done. We are going to easily take them out there, and so the opponent just concedes the match. Into next battle, we see Credilli in the lead. Now, I'll be honest, I did these battles really late at night. I mean, the leagues do turn over at like 9 PM anyway, so I couldn't really afford to do them any earlier than that. But I did these at like 10, 11, 12-ish, and I just, like, my counting was, like, really off. I do realize, of course, that a lot of Pokemon have access to new moves, or they got buffed moves or whatever, so it's going to be a little bit trickier these first few days of the season, but still, I made some, like, really weird errors that I just don't really understand how I miscounted. But either way, it doesn't really matter. We get the KO there. They come in with the Mandibuzz, so I'm going straight for Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam is going to connect. It does huge damage, and that is absolutely massive for me because we just can't really hit this Mandibuzz otherwise. So we are now going to come in with the Venomoth. I'm going to bait them into throwing an Aerial Ace, hopefully an Aerial Ace, into my Alolan Marowak, and it is the Aerial Ace, which is very nice. They come back in with Credilli. I'm going straight for the Shadow Bone. Now, Credilli should be 4 Bullet Seeds to every single Rock Tomb. I forgot what the move was there for a second there, but Rock Tomb, yes, of course, going to come after 4 Bullet Seeds each time, and here I should just try to overfarm as much as possible. You can see I did throw one sooner, and because of that, if I'd have thrown on CMP, one CMP there, I could have got the KO, but unfortunately, because I threw one turn earlier, I don't get that Hex through, and as a result, we have to swap. We sacrifice the Venomoth. We're able to reach a charge move. If I can live this Aerial Ace, then we should be fine. But unfortunately, the opponent is on Foul Play. Foul Play hits for super effective damage. It gets the KO there, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's top end there. Into next battle, we see a Rapidash in the lead. So going to safe swap into my Marowak, and we're going straight for Bone Club. Bone Club going to hit for super effective damage, and we can outpace them to these charge moves. So going to shield the first charge move here. The opponent goes for a Flame Charge, boosting up their attack. Of course, they do have access to Drill Run and Wild Charge, so I'm going to shield anyways. The opponent is going to double shield here. They can just barely outpace me before I throw the next Bone Club, and I'm going to have to just throw straight away here, and we're going to go straight for the Bone Club. I mean, technically, I could have actually overfarmed in this matchup, but either way, Bone Club gets the KO. They come in with the Azumarill. We're going straight for a Shadow Bone here, and I will just allow them to farm me down because I don't really want to be switch locked because I am, of course, all shields down. If my Sableye sees a Play Rough, it's not going to appreciate that very much. So we come in with the Venomoth. They end up going for the Play Rough anyways, which doesn't really make an awful lot of sense. But either way, we can go for the Poison Fang, over farming as much as I can. Poison Fang gets the KO. They come in with a Shift Tree, and I'm able to reach the Bug Buzz. And of course, double super effective. Easily gets the one shot up against the Shift Tree, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's top end there. Into next battle, we see a Jellicent in the lead. So once again, going to stay in very slightly there and then swap out there. So I'm able to force the opponent to throw on alignment. We are going to shield up the Surf there. I'm going to overfarm, and the opponent is going to try and catch a move onto Jumpluff. But we do have enough energy for a potential Fire Blast, but the opponent doesn't shield anyways. We can now go for another Shadow Bone. Shadow Bone number 2, since we've debuffed the defense, does grab a shield. And this one I'm hoping we can live an Acrobatics here. It's going to be close, but they're actually just on Aerial Ace. I realized they'd be one away from another Aerial Ace, so I go straight for Shadowbone. Shadowbone grabs the final shield, and at this point we're looking pretty good, so I'm going to no-shield this. Aerial Ace gets the KO there. We can come in with the Venomoth. The opponent swaps back into Jellicent. We're going to come in with the Shadow Sableye, and at this point I'm thinking I might as well commit one shield and then commit to a full Shadow Claw farm down. They will reach another Surf, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. We will be able to live this. I will be able to go for the farm down there, and it just depends what they've got in the back. Now they come back in with the jump off. I'm going straight for Foul Play here. Foul Play actually doesn't do enough damage because, of course, it did get a damage nerf, but we're able to come out with a Dazzling Gleam loaded. They come in with a Drapion. That does big damage. We can come back in with the Venomoth. I'm able to reach a Bug Buzz. Honestly, I think it would have been fine going for Poison Fang, but Bug Buzz gets the KO there, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG to opponent there into the next battle. See Emolga in the lead, so not really ideal for me. Gonna say swap into my Shadow Marowak, and we're met with a Lapras. So we're gonna go straight for Shadowbone here. I do actually overfarm just slightly. Shadowbone is gonna connect. It does some decent damage, and again, this is a misplay here. I just didn't realize we were gonna get to that Shadowbone straight away, so I end up going for Bone Club, and the opponent no shields. I could have just flipped that matchup there and not had to shield at all, and at this point, they will unfortunately reach another Sparkling Aria before I can farm them down. So huge mistake. I'm forced to swap out into my Venomoth to catch the charge, preserve the health on my Marowak. If that even helps me, I'm not really sure. At this point, I'm kind of just panicking. The opponent's going to come in with a Drapion. Unfortunately, they will outpace me before I reach a Bug Buzz, so I settle for the Poison Fang. Doesn't do much damage, but honestly, these side waves are kind of chunking at the moment. The opponent does finally throw an Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail does some decent damage. It does get the KO from that range. We are going to come in with the Sableye, of course. I'm going to be forced to no-shield this charge move, but the opponent will reach another charge move before I can farm them down, so I'm forced to go for a Foul Play. Foul Play will, of course, get the KO from that range. They come back in with the Emolga, and now I'm just hoping that we can live a discharge here. So we're going to shield this up here. The opponent should be at back-to-back charge moves. We lose CMP, but if we live this Shadowbone should grab the final shield, but no, unfortunately, it takes us out there. We do reach a Foul Play or a Dazzling Gleam. It doesn't really matter at this point. The opponent obviously still has a shield in play. They'd shield it anyway, so I allow them to fully farm me down, and we end up losing that game. But GG's to opponent there into the next battle. We see Credilli in the lead, and I throw on alignment again. What the heck am I doing? Honestly, I just figured they'd throw straight away because last time they did, and of course, with Rock Tomb looking to debuff the attack, it makes sense to throw as soon as possible. But either way, we're now going to go for another Poison Fang here. If I threw on good timing, I probably could have reached a Bug Buzz. But luckily for me, the opponent comes in with a Grumpig at the exact same time that I swap out into my Marowak. So Shadowbone gets the KO there. And unfortunately, they've now got a Mandibuzz. And again, it's going to be another Air/Mandibuzz. So pretty interesting. Obviously, slightly better for the Marowak, but going to be worse for my Venomoth. So at this point, we're able to throw on the CMP tie here. The opponent does overfarm. Shadowbone doesn't do much damage at all, but either way, we are going to let the Marowak go down. Aerial Ace actually doesn't take us out there. They're able to snipe with the Credilli, but that's okay with me. I'm going to come in with my shiny Shadow Sableye, and I'm going to look to try and catch the charge move onto my Venomoth. However, maybe that was a mistake here because Rock Tomb gets the one shot, and they're still going to reach another Rock Tomb, and at this point, I'm going to be permanently debuffed. So yeah, maybe I should have swapped and caught the second Rock Tomb there, but either way, we're going to come out with a Dazzling Gleam, go for it straight away into the Mandibuzz. Dazzling Gleam does big damage. If we weren't debuffed, I could have already taken them out, but I'm still able to reach a Foul Play, and of course, Foul Play, despite being debuffed, gets the KO from that range, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG to opponent there, and also apologies for my voice. I am slightly ill, so you might be able to hear that in my voice. But either way, into next battle, we see a Claydol in the lead. I'm just going to stay in, go straight for Bug Buzz, going to hit for super effective damage, and we're able to grab a shield from the opponent, drop their defense as well. So at this point, I'm just going to let the Venomoth go down. Rock Tomb gets the KO there. We can come in with the Sableye, and they come in with a Primeape. So at this point, I'm going to no-shield the first charge move here. Just going to be a Rage Fist, but they are going to boost their attack. And even though we're resisting the Karate Chop damage, it is going to start to add up. So we go for Dazzling Gleam, grab a shield there. Honestly, everyone shields their Primeape. Should have just baited there. But either way, we swap into our Shadow Marowak. And honestly, I kind of expected the Hexes to do more damage here. Honestly, it's a little bit underwhelming because I'm not going to be able to go for a full farm down. And of course, they've got a Mandibuzz in the back anyways. So they're able to catch a double resisted Bone Club. This game is now completely over. There's just nothing we can do. I am able to throw a Shadowbone on the CMP tie. Shadowbone doesn't even put them into Dazzling Gleam range, so it's kind of just irrelevant. Anyways, Dark Pulse does big damage. We're going to swap into Sableye, try to get the KO here, but it just won't be enough damage, and the opponent will be able to just fully snarl, farm down my Sableye, or actually just snipe with a Claydol, doesn't really matter, get the Mudslap farm down there, and unfortunately we do lose that game. So, GG top end there, into next battle, we've got Superior in the lead. So the opponent safe swaps into a Lapras. We're going to come in with our Shadow Sableye, and at this point, honestly, we don't really need switch advantage. We've also got a Alola Marowak, so it doesn't matter too much here. I'm going to shield the first... Oh, no, never mind. I'm going to no-shield the first charge move. So they go for Sparkling Aria, and the opponent actually overfarms. They probably should have been able to outpace me, considering I was a little bit slow to swap out there, but I'm able to grab a shield advantage, and at that point, I'm pretty happy. So at this point, I think they're also pretty close to back-to-back charge moves, so I no-shield this. I'm hoping to farm them down, but I'm just barely not able to do so. So still forced to shield anyway. So yeah, not really the best on my end, but they're going to come in with a Morpeko. I'm going to farm up to the Bug Buzz, bait with a Poison Fang, and Poison Fang is actually no shielded by the opponent. It must be like the only Morpeko that doesn't shield there, and a bit unfortunate, but I'm going to swap into my Arak. They do bait with a Psychic Fangs, which is very nice for me. At this point, we're going to fire off the Bone Club here. Bone Club going to grab the final shield from the opponent. At this point, I cannot afford to shield this, but the opponent's going to go and bait again with a Psychic Fangs anyways, and I'm actually able to go for another Bone Club here before they're able to farm me down. Bone Club, of course, gets the KO, and this is definitely game over. We've still got a shield here. It doesn't really matter. The opponent isn't going to bother throwing a charge move until they reach back to back. Bug Buzz will, of course, hit for super effective damage, easily taking out Superior, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's to that opponent there into the final battle of this video, leading into a Lapras. So, I'm, of course, going to say swap into my Marowak here. Not really ideal for me, but I'd rather take, of course, super effective damage from the Sparkling Aria than from the Psywave damage. They actually go for Surf there, so that's kind of huge for me, because that means they're going to be slightly slower to reach the charge moves, and I'm able to go for back-to-back Shadow Bones here. First one grabs a shield, second Shadow Bone is going to connect. It does big damage, and it puts them into range where I should be able to farm them down with either Pokemon. So they go for a Surf there. Surf does get the KO. We can come in with the Sableye, go for the Shadow Claw farm down, and let's see, the opponent comes in with a Clefable, so that's okay with me. Dazzling Gleam is going to do respectable damage here. It does connect, it does big damage, and the opponent fires off a charge move. Now, this is not enough energy for the Moonblast, but it's actually a Meteor Mash. We come in with the Venomoth. The opponent swaps into their final Pokemon, a Medicham, and this is actually looking pretty positive for me. We go straight for Poison Fang. Poison Fang grabs the final shield. Now I'm committing to the Bug Buzz. The opponent doesn't even throw a charge move here, and Bug Buzz, since I've debuffed them, gets the one shot. We can just go for a Psywave farm down, so the opponent concedes the match.
So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.